Hello and welcome to the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Pearl Fontaine. Thanks for joining us. Topping the headlines, national awards for ward aides recently held. Officials concerned about the economic impact of the Black Sigatoka and the Nature Island Literary Festival to get underway this weekend. All these stories and more when National Focus returns. Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. At a Maho reunion cabinet discussion earlier this week, the public had the opportunity to interact and talk with government ministers about issues relating to the way forward for Dominica. Among matters discussed was antisocial behavior and delinquency among youth. Joseph Germain, a member of the diaspora, was of the opinion that responsibility doesn't always belong to government. He said that persons should be willing to solve problems on their own as well.
I want you to understand that government cannot solve all problems. What government does is provide the motivation and the inspiration and the encouragement and the infrastructure. The government must empower the people so that they can solve some of their problems. And so the caution is, we must guard against, I appreciate all the help that you give into the community. We must guard against what happened in the United States and in many parts of Europe. We must guard against not allowing Dominica to develop a welfare state where we take care of people and we provide all of their needs from the cradle to the grave. Because what that does is that it takes away initiative from the people and it causes us to be lazy. Government help in whatever way they can, but empower the people so that they can also help.
Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, parliamentary representative for the Maho constituency, spoke to the public of parents' tasks to ensure that their children are raised properly. The minister stated that parents should be the first teachers even before the media has the opportunity to influence their children.
I think that we have to also assign responsibilities to our parents, the homes, socialization, and the primary focus, therefore, has to be parenting. And then we have to also understand the evolution that has taken place in society. That no society now is a monolithic. It's not homogeneous, you get my point. And all these social diversions that we have brought about by our social media houses, okay, really presenting some element of confusion in the minds of our young people. And therefore, the formative years of that child becomes very critical to that child's future development. Starting first with parenting, and that is why the government is doing what it can do. Honorable
Blackmore further stated that in terms of education, parents should take the initiative and not rely solely upon government officials.
The formative years of that child, insofar as education is concerned, we have to go to the preschool level, and we're going to make it universal for every child, irrespective of a child's social origin. Government can do that. What government cannot do is to come to your homes and teach your children how to do homework. That has to be the responsibility of parents.
In more news, Culture Minister Honorable Justina Charles has called on the nation to reflect on the strides we have made as a nation since the abolition of slavery several years ago. The minister made that call when she addressed the Golden Drum Award ceremony on Wednesday night. August 1st, 2012 represented the 178th anniversary since the abolition of slavery in Dominica. As the country celebrates emancipation celebrations this month, the minister called on all to reflect on the positives.
We must never lose sight of this. The freedom that we enjoy today, the freedom that we take for granted, were in part due to the sacrifice and struggles of our ancestors, the resistance of our Maroons. Emancipation celebration thus represents a celebration of freedom, a celebration of the culture handed down by our ancestors, a tribute to the fighting spirits of our ancestors who were brought here from Africa.
This year's emancipation celebrations are centered on an African theme. Earlier this week, African Nationals resident here teamed up with the Cultural Division in putting on a display of African fashion, art, craft, music, and dance at the Old Mill Cultural Center. Ward aides who excelled in their field were recognized on Friday afternoon by the Nursing Administration of the Princess Margaret Hospital. They were recognized at an award ceremony at the Public Service Training Center. The Outstanding Performance as Ward Aide Awards were presented to 19 ward aides who achieved outstanding performance in the area of general work conduct, customer service, and managing work. 4 ward aides who were retired in 2011 were also recognized for their services at Friday's awards ceremony. The activity was organized as a means of improving staff morale and also served as a motivation for junior officers. GIS National Focus will bring you more on the award ceremony in Tuesday's newscast. Head of the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit, Ryan Ansem, is concerned about the likely impact of the presence of the black Sigatoka disease could have on Dominica's economy. Ansem, at a news conference this week, said the agriculture sector will be significantly affected by the disease, which destroys plantain and banana plants.
Black Sigatoka is an invasive species. It is one of the most dangerous diseases of plantains and banana. So the effects on the economy itself, it can reduce your economy in terms of your plantain and banana sector by 40 to 70% if it's not managed. So in terms of the economic assessment, black Sigatoka has the potential to cause about 40 to 70% reduction in the sector, and in terms of the effects of it, what you will get smaller bunch sizes, you will get small finger size, and once you cannot get the production level to export, you will get loss of income, and some countries, their natural reaction is to put a restriction on export once you have a pest introduction. And again, that will cause some severe economic loss to the farmers, to the livelihood of the farming families in rural areas. So again, I will repeat, once a pest has been introduced in your country, it will have serious economic problems to the country if it's not managed.
Ansem encouraged the public, especially farmers, to adhere to the recommended practices by the Ministry of Agriculture.
The backyard owners of plantain and farmers in general to adhere to the measures. We want farmers to go on a de-leafing program, a national de-leafing program, sanitize the field, remove all the weeds, and improve on all the good agricultural practices, the cultural practices, improve on the drainage to manage black Sigatoka. And the message that we want to send is not spraying off a fungicide. It has to take an integrated pest management approach where you de-leaf, that you add nutrient to the plants in terms of giving the plant fertilizer, and then we complement with a fungicide to manage the disease.
Significant financial resources would be required to manage the spread of the disease.
To manage the disease itself, you're talking about close to $5 million EC a year to manage black Sigatoka successfully in Dominica. And we're just talking about financial, we're not talking about putting all the human resource and all these things. So it will take us approximately $5 million to control black Sigatoka. But the message I want to send is that all the resources, all the fungicide and all the human resources will not be sufficient and enough for the management of black Sigatoka. It has to take the effort of the farmers, the housewife, the backyard owners of plantain and bananas. It has to take a national effort. Hucksters, vendors, It has to take a national effort to manage black Sigatoka. The government can give $5 million and farmers are not complying to the de-leafing program. They are not detrashing and adhering to the measures and strategies. That money and resources will go to waste. So it has to take a national effort to control black Sigatoka.
Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Matthew Walter, has appealed to nationals to work with the Ministry of Agriculture to manage the spread of the disease, which could reduce the production of banana and plantain by 40 to 70%.
The technical experts in the Ministry of Agriculture, will be there to do a thorough supervision and to assist the farmers outside there who should participate in that program. It's a voluntary program. They should get in touch, with the respective extension officers or teams in their respective regions, and ensure that, they do what is necessary for all of us to see the elimination of black Sigatoka in this country. I do not think it is an impossibility. I think it is quite possible, that if we understand the severity of that disease, if we understand, the economic loss, that we can suffer as a result of not doing sufficient to manage this disease. I think that the onus is on all of us to take up the responsibility seriously, and to ensure that we do all within our powers, during the course of this month, August month, to try our best to manage black Sigatoka in our respective fields.
In more news, the Nature Island Literary Festival and Book Fair will on Saturday, August 4, stage another book exchange at the Roseau Market from 6 a.m. to 12 noon. Organizers say the Bring a Book and Take a Book slogan for the event is designed to encourage everyone to bring their books to the market and exchange them for books that interest them. A wide selection of fiction, including best-selling romance and thrillers, non-fiction, including religion, self-help, and history, and a wide selection of children's books for all ages will be available. Organizers of the book fair say this is a fantastic opportunity to contribute to the festival and to find some great material to read. The prices will range from $1 to $10 for the second-hand book. There will also be new books on sale at reduced prices. The event is being held for the second year running and is sponsored by Papillot Press. All proceeds will go to support the literary festival. And Health Minister Honorable Julius Timothy has revealed that operations at the Princess Margaret Hospital will soon be reorganized. The Health Minister was speaking at a press cabinet discussion at Maho earlier this week when he said that after the completion of the new Princess Margaret Hospital, there will be an obvious difference in the level of service offered to patients.
We are reorganizing the entire hospital, and we intend to have a relatively new hospital starting early next year. A gift from the Chinese government. And we intend to equip that hospital very well with the latest state-of-the-art technology. And we are in the process right now of training our nurses to ensure that we have the people capable of operating the equipment and performing the services in that hospital.
Additionally, Honorable Timothy noted that as part of health services improvements, a number of healthcare professionals are currently undergoing necessary specialization training.
We are now in the process of getting some more specialists. We have sent Dominicans to specialize. We have oncology, we have vascular, people studied vascular surgery, and a few other specialists in orthopedics. a few other specialist fields. We are really getting that on stream. But I must tell you that healthcare costs are not very high.
And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en Creole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Banque Nationale Dominique, Cooperative Credit Union National Dominique, Island Carental et puis ACS, qui a collaboré et puis State College Dominique pour conduire course pour faire et puis taxe internationale. Selon officier State College Dominique Merrill Matthew, course là c'est pour élever standard de différentes professions qui concernent taxe internationale.
Nous avons offert Professional Dominic en course nous avons International Taxation in the Caribbean context. Comme ça, nous avons try aider Professional Dominic pour élever koyo affaires qui a fait et puis taxation international. Ça nous avons try faire comme ça c'est lever knowledge moun Dominic qui moun qui avocat, moun qui accountant, magistrate et puis c'est qualité moun ça nous avons try faire ni éducation en variety bite international taxation. Quand ça a commencé le 7e août et puis qui bout le 17 août. Professeur Von James, c'est professeur qui a fait ça nous toutes les années. Professeur James, lui-même, c'est une autant expérience à fait taxation international. Et puis il a descendu comme ça, il n'a plus d'expérience encore pour délivrer ces causes ça, puis ça c'est le 5e année il a délivré cause ça.
En d'autres nouvelles, le ministre de l'Agriculture a avisé Hoxton, Mizi, aussi supposé suivre si l'on mauvais maladie Black Sigatoka. Le ministre a avisé pour prendre toute régulation à de manière empêcher maladie salassimée. M. Ryan Ansem, c'est officier quarantine, ministre de l'Agriculture.
Et ces Hoxters là, c'est les gens qui ont mené marchandises en market là. Ça nous le dit, pas mener pes, feuille figue, feuille banane, accompagner figue avec banane yo. Ça a fait ou ça pour maladie à une place et mener à l'autre place. So nous avons des gens effectifs August 6. Personne pas que ça voyer figue et planter dans les branches. On est pour mettre ça dans boîte, on est pour mettre dip ça dans un fongicide, pas client dans boîte et pour exporter. So encore mon strat avec d'autres pays de nous non black Sigatoka et nous pas ça faire ces bagages ça nous te fait qu'on va voyer figue dans les branches et voyer paille en place ces monde là. So nous les des moun effective August 6 tout monde qui n'est pour voyer figue l'autre pays n'est pour pack figue là dans boîte avec dipliant dans fongicide pour exporter pour l'autre pays et nous les tout monde Dominique fait ça pour faire pour commettre contre maladie ça là c'est pas une maladie pour ministre agriculture seulement c'est une maladie pour tout le monde pour prendre black Sigatoka bien ça oui pour nous garder comment nous éradiquer la maladie c'est en Dominique.
Moun qui a engagé en industrie musique, film et d'autres bagages comme ça, qu'a tapé bon avis comment pour manager travail à eux. Ça c'est résultant un workshop plaisir de te attendre, taper plein d'informations, manière supposé manœuvrer et puis travailler à eux. Il y a un officier qui a une expérience en affaires corporate Mac Marie, te faciliter workshop ça là.
C'est en droit, en loi Dominique, tout le monde qui a produit musique, livre, CD, film, qui a droit exclusif pour servir par eux. Comme ça, on ne peut pas droit copier un CD si vous n'avez pas de permission. On ne peut pas droit copier musique si vous n'avez pas de permission. On ne peut pas droit jouer musique dans une salle, bal, dans un bar, dans une discothèque. Ça, qu'il y a une permission pour faire ça. C'est ça loi la a dit et c'est comme ça monde là qui fait musique là puis essayer gagner en l'argent.
Et puis finalement ministre information honorable Ambrose George, membre parlement pour Maho honorable Reuben Blackmore ensemble et puis d'autres membres cabinet participer à un forum public compas réunion Maho. Plusieurs monde Maho qui vivent l'autre pays ensemble et puis ça qui vivent ici attendez forum salam. En parole est délivré honorable George Dickey, développement qui prend place tout le pays là en bas gouvernement salam. Et des gouvernements là connaissent bien clair manière pour développement pays là. Des pays ont déjà accompli plus bagaille passé d'autres gouvernements qui déjà passé. Ministre George fait parole qui policier étranger gouvernement salam qu'a fait Dominique Zami tout pays et puis satellite pièce. Ministre George mentionné plusieurs bagailles gouvernement accompli en parmi chemin West Coast, Yes Week programme, Petro Caribbean en parmi d'autres qu'a fait gouvernement Dominique bien à tête pour le développement en pays là. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en Creole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson Luce. Qu'à de tout le monde, un bon week-end. Au revoir.
We now join Tanya Green for this week's edition of Flashback, where we bring you all the stories which made the headlines for this week. Thank you, Pearl. Here now are the major stories which made the news this week. People involved in the music and film industry have acquired useful information on how to better manage their intellectual property. This was the result of a two-day workshop on intellectual property and management organized by the National Export Council Secretariat in collaboration with other partners. The government of Dominica in the new financial year will continue to pay attention to the rehabilitation of the island's road network. Based on an audit performed on the island's road conditions, it has been projected that 60% of the island's main roads will be improved by the year 2015. And Assistant Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Carissa Aide, is in search of one additional country to secure her vote as the new director of the Pan American Health Organization. Dr. Etienne is one of 5 candidates vying for the position and is looking to secure a total of 20 votes. Officials of the Ministry of Agriculture have confirmed that the presence of black Sigatoka diseases on the island is now affecting Dominican farmers. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry has declared the month of August as Banana and Plantain Field Sanitation Month. The announcement was made during a press conference on Wednesday by Minister for Agriculture and Forestry, Honorable Matthew Walter. The declaration is part of efforts by the ministry to fight the black Sigatoka disease, which was recently confirmed on the island. And members of cabinet, including Acting Prime Minister Honorable Ambrose George and Parliament Representative for the Maho constituency, Honorable Reuben Blackmore, participated in a public discussion on Wednesday evening as part of Maho Reunion 2012 activities. And the National Cultural Council, in collaboration with the Division of Culture, on Wednesday evening staged the annual Golden Drum Award ceremony at the Arak House of Culture. 4 golden drums and 5 special recognition awards were presented to deserving individuals and groups. These were the major stories which made the news this week. It's back to you, Pearl. Thank you, Tanya. When we come back, we'll bring you the upcoming events and government notices. Please stay tuned.
Let your spirit take to flight. Let your heart run free and wild. Find your soul in Dominica, the nature
Time now for your government notices. The Youth Development Division invites applications from young men and women to pursue training under the Youth Skills Training Program in computer literacy at Wesley, Grand Bay, Roseau, Portsmouth, Castle Bruce and Grand Fall, in computer maintenance at Roseau, in ARC welding at Jimmet, in building maintenance at Marigot, and in blueprint reading at Grand Bay. Application forms can be obtained from the Youth Development Division office on 3 Charles Avenue, Goodwill. Jacksonville. Forms may also be obtained from district youth officers or village council offices and should be returned no later than August 13th, 2012. All those concerned are asked to note the following hurricane shelters and shelter managers for the communities of Watton-Waven, Newtown, and Trafalgar. For Watton-Waven, your hurricane shelter is the Watton-Waven Government School, where the shelter manager is Michael Bruno and the assistant is Joey Moranci. For Newtown, the basement of the Catholic Church is your hurricane shelter. The shelter manager there is Albert Dalrymple and his assistant is Peter Gregoire. And for Trafalgar, your hurricane shelter is the Trafalgar Government School. Henry George is the shelter manager and Miranda Baptiste is the assistant shelter manager. Members of the public are asked to take note of the following numbers which could prove useful during the hurricane season. The Office of Disaster Management located in Jimmet, the telephone number there is 448-8831 and the hotline is 448-7777. The Dominica Met Service Office located at the Canefield Airport, the telephone number there is 449-1990. The Dominica Met Service located at the Melville Hall Airport, that telephone number is 445-7878. The weather hotline is 447-5555. Or you may visit the website weather.gov.dm for updated weather reports. Up next is the tip of the day. In today's tip, we'll discuss the items you should always have on hand in case you experience an outage during a storm. For communication purposes, you will need a battery-operated emergency radio, a corded phone and cell phone, and a list of important phone numbers which I just recited to you during the announcements. A list of food items include containers of water or bottled water, non-perishable foods, canned or freeze-dried, powdered milk, and baby supplies for infants. Miscellaneous items should include blankets, a clock, flashlights with batteries, one for every family member, extra batteries, a first aid kit, and cash. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you could visit our website at news.gov.dm, or you could visit our GIS Dominica page on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Pearl Fontaine. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.
There's a point I want to share with you. They say there's nothing you can do about an earthquake. It's sudden. But there's something we can do. Having our family planning meeting in advance, just in case, to protect the children and the family.
So any monkey can make kui, but when you're running, you must know where you're running to. Okay?
See me on Twambadiche, an earthquake. You, your family, and your children, and everybody at home must know exactly what to do, where to go, where to run. And the other thing is that you must know your surroundings. You can trip and fall and get hurt. Another secure place to go is under a table. Don't go under a glass table or a window or a door. It will break and shikaye and cut you. Go under a strong table. You want to see how? You come in, you get it. But it's not just to drop, cover, and hold. And then you have your head in your leg and you cover your head and you cover your eyes and Felix, tell them.
And yes, drop, cover, and hold. But only pusav kumankai labati know your surroundings, where it is safe in the house.
And one thing to remember, if an earthquake happens, you must find a secure place. And your bathroom is a secure place, a sure place. Because the smaller the place, the more secure you are. So remember that.
And under a potager, the dresser is a very good place to hide.
I agree.
The closet, where you have all those old jackets and those kiang. all the shoes. It's a very good place. It's a safe place. They close it.
That's a good idea.
And the bookshelf. N'importe place comme ça qui s'est tombé à saut. Stay away.
A message from the Office of Disaster Management in Dominica.